sound. Revelation 8, verses 1 through 13. The first angel sounded, and hail and fire followed, mingled with blood, and they were thrown to the earth, and a third of the trees were burned up, and all green grass was burned up. Then the second angel sounded. Something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea, and a third of the sea became blood, and a third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. Then the third angel sounded, and a great star fell from heaven, burning like a torch, and it fell on a third of the rivers and on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood, and a third of the waters became wormwood, and many men died from the water, because it was made bitter. Then the fourth angel sounded, and a third of the sun was struck, a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of them were darkened, and a third of the day did not shine, and likewise the night. And I looked, and I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, because of the remaining blasts of the trumpet of the three angels who are about to sound. Comforting, isn't it? What is pictured here? Again, there are a lot of, or I should say a number of preachers, theologians who go in this or that direction. And again, it's not to say that they're entirely wrong, as long as they bring solid scriptural proof. However, going through this again, this time around, these first four trumpets deal with nature, don't they? Trees, grass, the seas and the sea creatures, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the sun, the moon, and the stars. And what would we say that these refer to? Wouldn't it be the natural disasters that take place? Year after year after year, we read and we hear of forest fires burning hundreds and thousands of acres, California, Idaho, Montana, Colorado, Arizona. Now again, not all of those are begun, of course, by lightning, but many of them are, aren't they? Much of the grass is burned up, prairie fires. Perhaps we could refer to some of this, the grass being burned up, as those periods of drought come in this area or that area. That hurricanes churn up the water, destroy ships. Water's made bitter. The sun, the moon, and the stars dimmed, a third of them. Well, the sun hasn't fallen from the sky, but don't we hear from time to time that that the sun is burning out? That it's going to explode or something to that effect? And if the sun's light is diminished, the moon's light is going to be diminished as well. As you go out at night and watch and look at the heavens, from time to time you see a falling star. And the basis for this is twofold. These things are an effect and a result of sin. Because when Adam and Eve fell into sin, God, in grace and mercy, even though it doesn't seem that way, but in grace and mercy, subjected the natural world also to sin. Paul speaks of that in Romans. That the whole world groans, waiting for the adoption of sons, waiting for its release also at the end of time from its subjection to the effects of sin, the effect of sin that was placed on it. What does God say to Adam and Eve, or to Adam specifically? In the sweat of your brow, thorns and thistles. The earth will not yield its fruit as it once did, as it was intended to. So while other things may be seen here, to me, it is the natural disasters that take place in the world. And when we get down to the sixth trumpet, just jump ahead. Verse 21 of chapter 9 in Revelation, it says, "And they did not repent." And this, of course, is in connection with the sixth trumpet, "of their murders or their sorceries or their sexual immorality or their thefts." And when we get to the seven bowls, that same phrase is repeated. They did not repent. That these things take place, that the Lord allows these things to take place and sends these things in order to demonstrate He is God, judgment is coming, that man may repent. So when we do hear the thunder, when we do see the lightning, when we run to our basements because the tornado sirens have sounded, the Lord is reminding us also by these things that the earth is not going to last forever. The day of judgment is coming, and we do not know when He will take us from this life. Put your trust in the rider on the white horse, Jesus. Look to Him for your salvation.